All right. Well, hi everyone. So, this is going to be the first time of the Hot Cocoa Corner, and Hot Cocoa Corner is basically just going to be a period where we kind of just chit chat and talk, and we get to talk about things like what's coming up, what games we're gonna be playing on stream, just kind of catching up, things like that. So, thank you for all who are coming or watching at the stream. And if you're watching this on YouTube, hi as well. So, let's see. First off, we're gonna look at the schedule. We're doing Hot Cocoa Corner tonight. I'm gonna be trying to start streaming mostly in the evening, about 8 o'clock EST to like 10 o'clock. Just because that's a time when I'm not usually interrupted with things, and so I can stream without it getting too much in the way. So you get 2 full hours of me. So, but let's see, for this week, or I guess for coming weeks, what's gonna happen is that we are going to be doing Hot Cocoa Corner today. We'll do Genshin tomorrow, and then on Wednesday, Honkai Star Rail 2.1 drops, and so we'll be doing that one. Then on Thursday, we're going to do an assorted game, which is going to be, whatever it is I kind of want to do or try. Not any of the base ones. Just recently, I bought Cult of the Lamb, so I'm thinking about playing that for the first time, and we'll take a look at that. So I think that might be kind of fun. It's kind of weird because Cult of the Lamb gives me very much, from what I've seen of it, gives me kind of like Animal Crossing vibes, but with cult stuff. So it looks like a fun game though, so I'm interested in trying it out. But I have that one to try, a bunch of other games to try, so we'll get to check out all those. And then I think, let's see, I don't think there's going to be any streaming on Friday, but we are going to be playing a lot of Genshin on Saturday, as long as I am available. Probably not be available this month, or this time, because we're celebrating Easter, but I'll just have to make adjustments for that. I was really thinking to myself, like, I know I forgot something. What was it that I forgot? It was that. But so, and then Sunday, I think, is going to be just kind of a take a break type of day. But I'll have to see on how I feel and things like that. It might be kind of like a, what they call that? Spontaneous stream. Maybe, but I'm not sure yet. Just trying to get into the groove of all this. Thank you, viewer, who came in. Very nice to see you. Okay, so couple things. Let's see. Let me jump over. I think I could do this. Okay, I think that works. All right, so just to go over a couple things that are happening in games. The maintenance for Honkai Star Rail is going to be happening tomorrow evening, depending on your time zone. I know on this one it says the 27th, but when I go into my game, for me, it says the 26th, so it will be, I think they're going off of Chinese time for this, so that's why it's on the 26th for, I guess, America, and for the 27th for China or something like that, because they're already a day ahead of us. So make sure you do your dailies and stuff. If you play Honkai Star Rail, make sure you do your dailies before the evening, so you don't miss out on anything. They have, let's see, a bunch of new stuff's coming. The pre-download is now available. I would suggest to do it because it really saves a lot of time and effort instead of waiting until, all the streaming is over, or not streaming, right? All of the maintenance is over, and then you are like, oh, I want to play, and then you click on it, it's like, oh, it's gonna take X amount of hours to update, and you're like, oh, shoot. So that's something to keep in mind to do. Let's see. there's some really beautiful art. Archeron and Venturine is trying to talk too fast. Are coming. Archeron first, and then Venturine second. I believe Galar is also on Archeron's banner. I might drop a 10 pull or so. I just finished saving up for Sunday if he becomes playable. So whatever I get extra, I will be rolling for. I know with the game too, they're giving us like 30 free pulls, 20 passes, and like 1,600 Stellar Jades. Although I believe the 1,000 Stellar Jades isn't going to be until the end, so I think that's just keep that in mind in case you're going to be rolling on either of these banners. They're also having new Stimulated Universe thing. They're having new stages for new stuff. For new Stagnant Shadow and Crimson stages. So more stuff to farm for. Let's see. Some really beautiful artwork. Kind of some typical stuff, I think. Yeah, there's a Gallagher. I have to hear people's names a couple times. I'm horrible at names. But there you go with that. For Genshin, let's see. Let me jump over. I know that is way back too far. I know Ayato's birthday is happening tomorrow. It is on the 26th. Although I have started seeing fan art for it already because people are celebrating it early. But you're having his birthday. We just had Noel's birthday. The Great Foz reaction debate is happening, which I actually haven't done yet because I wanted to do it on stream. So we'll probably be doing that tomorrow afternoon or evening. There was a login error thing that they fixed that, which is good. Eventually we'll be getting that petting the cat event. I don't know exactly when though, but you have that. Let's see. We're also having, let's see. Yeah, Do It Night Abyss is starting up one of their technical tests. The recruitment just finished up, so they are going to be starting up that pretty soon. Congratulations to everybody who got in. I didn't sign up for it because I was like, I don't have time, but you know, but go check it out. I believe you can pre-register for it already, so you have that. Let's see. I don't think there's really anything about Arknight's Enfield for right now, although they did their beta the other day, so you have that. Blue Protocol Global is still basically silent, and people are getting worried because they usually would give apparently an update for like these streams, and according to, yeah, they haven't done one for March. They only did one for February, so people are starting to kind of freak out a little bit because they're like, oh my gosh, are we not getting a global version? I know a lot of people are of the mind of they really should have done the global and Japanese release at the same time, you know, because you can't even play the Japanese version because if you are not in Japanese or in Japan, you apparently will get kicked out of the game. So that's kind of sad, considering that the global English version isn't done yet, but we'll have to see. I haven't heard anything really from Project Mugen lately. Let's see, the shopping street Twitter feed has been kind of dead, but hopefully they're working on there, and as they say, they're cooking, so hopefully they're doing well. That Withering Waves finished up their oh, whatchamacallit, their closed beta just recently. That was on the 17th. So hopefully that, hopefully they won't go through too many betas. I'm pretty sure, because I don't remember Genshin's, because I didn't know about the game until it became playable, until it was playable, and everybody was like, oh my gosh, Genshin, and so I was like, oh, and so I tried it out, and it was really good. But I know for Honkai Star Rail, they did like 2 betas, and then like a few like mini ones. Like they even did kind of like an advertisement one where it was like, oh, you got into the game by if you found the advertisements or whatever. So they could kind of see of how well their advertising was going, so they could get people. So hopefully this will come out soon. I'm pretty sure Withering Waves is supposed to be coming out. I think it's Withering Waves and Arcanite's Enfield are supposed to be coming out in 2004. Blue Protocol is a question mark. Do It Night Abyss, I think, just kind of got started. There's also another one that's coming out, but I don't know exactly when. It's called, Azure Promeliade. And that one looks really good, so that one's gonna be coming, hopefully. I don't think they have a Discord. I really should join up their Discord if they have one. But we got that one too. See. Yeah, this is like in the closed beta. A couple little comics. Developer's message was talking about things they're working on. You could actually probably check that out right now. I've read it over, but it's good to see what they really are. Kuro Gaming, which is the group that's doing this. They also did Punishing Gray Raven. They do definitely seem to be paying attention to their player base and trying to improve the game. So, which is really good, you know, because it's like, if you're gonna have a beta and let people in so they can give you your feedback, it's like, if you don't listen to the feedback, like the rational feedback, like, I can understand not listening to criticisms such as, like, oh, you should not have a gacha system and just give us all the characters. Like, of course, they're not gonna take that one seriously, obviously. But with others, you know, that, excuse me. I can kind of, you know, see why they wouldn't, like, I mean, it's one of those points of you can't please everybody, but on the other hand, you know, you should definitely listen to a majority and try to, you know, make your game as good and as pleasing to enough people as you can. Click over here. Okay, so here we go. So here's the developer's message that just came up. Alright, so dear Rovers, we would like to first express our sincere gratitude. Thank you for participating in and paying attention to our closed beta test 2. We received a whole lot of valuable feedback from all platforms, excuse me. After careful consideration, we have finalized our plans for future adjustments and optimizations, and we would like to share them with you. We hope this developer's message addresses any questions you may have. Your continued support means the world to us. Alright, so combat. Overall combat experience optimizations. We are addressing the issue of poor sound effects and hit feedback many of our players mentioned. We will focus on revamping the sound effects of weapon hit feedback, echo skills, resonance skills, and other battle aspects. In addition, we'll improve jumping by adjusting animation speed, camera transitions, and landing feedback to make it more natural. Yeah, I know when I was watching a lot of people play the beta, they mentioned about how the sound seemed kind of dull compared to how it was in the first beta, and they kind of missed the first beta, so this is good that they're kind of tweaking that a little bit. Number 2, character-specific combat optimizations. We will be making specific adjustments for characters frequently mentioned in the feedback we've received. Our plans include adjusting Ling Huang and John Ying's movesets for an elevated overall combat experience, adjusting Verina's HP restoration mechanics so she can use her photosynthesis energy more efficiently, improving Charo's kit. His extra intro skill necessary means will be available by default. So that's good, because I believe before it was locked behind basically a copy or constellation or whichever it is they're calling it in the game. So the fact that they're kind of like, okay, no, that he's going to do that just, you know, with one copy is good. Number 3, new combat skill practicing dungeons. We will introduce a series of new combat practicing dungeons where you can better familiarize yourself with each character's unique combat mechanism. I can't talk. Mechanisms, and play and practice how to combo. Aside from the points above, we've also started working on frequently reported issues such as bad camera experiences, frequent lock-on loss, enemies quitting combat, and counterattack failures. Yeah, this one is definitely one of those, just like in Genshin or Honkai Star Rail, they're going to give you a chance to test out the character and play with them probably before you roll for them. It's good, like a good little practice for them. I find this one funny. This one of enemies quitting combat. Oop. Hang on a second. Why is this thing so loud? Oh, that's why. It's not my thing. It's the website. Okay, there you go. I was like, wait a minute. Why is my music so loud? It's not. It shouldn't be me making that much racket. It's the website. There we go. That's better. I can imagine this being a problem too. The enemies quitting combat, just being like, you're fighting, you almost got him down, and then the enemy's just like, okay, I'm done. And they walk away, go back to their respawn point and get full of health again. Like, I can understand the idea of like, oh, if you accidentally wander too far away from the battle zone. But on the other hand, it's just like, that's happened to me before. I'm just like, wait a minute, come back here. I almost beat you. So, yeah, that whole bit. Okay, so gameplay ecosystem. Says we received a lot of feedback on the ecosystem. Thank you so much for taking the time to test out this system and provide valuable suggestions. We have received many suggestions and concerns about how the echo hunting experience was too grindy, how the game lacked disposal options for unwanted echoes, and other issues. The echoes are the ones like the turtle, the dances, and other things. To address these issues, we are planning to implement the following changes. 1, make it easier to obtain various echoes. We plan to make echoes available through participating in game events, completing daily activities, and other means. Some people, I saw one person comment about how this could be bad because it increases the FOMO, the fear of missing out. However, when you're kind of doing a gacha game that has daily activities and things, you're kind of going to be on there anyway. And, you know, it kind of encourages you to play the game. So, I don't think this is too bad. This is very much similar to a lot of other gacha games and things. So you got that. Number 2, provide a better way to dispose of unused or redundant echoes. You'll be able to recycle unenhanced echoes by converting them into random new echoes of a type you have unlocked, which this is really good. It's not just like, oh, throwing it away. It's like, oh, we're just like altering it. You had to have caught that one before, but if you kind of like find out that, oh, I have too many of these and not enough of these, you could switch them over. Number 3, return turners when tuned echoes are consumed. When you use tuned echoes to upgrade other echoes, a designated percent of tuners you previously used will be returned. I guess tuners are kind of like Pokeballs, basically, which is good. Number 4, make it easier to get your desired substats. We will raise the minimum numbers you can get with substats rolling and narrow the range of possible rolling results, which is good because I think the echoes in this are kind of working like the artifacts from Genshin, or what do they call them in Honkai Star Rail? Relics, the relics, but they're like animals. So we got that. Number 5, optimize the auto-equipped echo mechanism. Additionally, we will improve Inferno Rider's echo skill to add a new transformation mode. When equipped, you can transform into the Infernal Rider. We'll be developing even more new events and new gameplay centered around the echoes, and improve them based on your feedback to create new unique experiences. So you get to turn into this motorcycle guy. So kind of like, I guess, a mount in a way, because he goes faster. And so on. So, there you go with that. Number 2, new content for Depths of Elusive Realm. We will add a tutorial stage for Depths of Elusive Realm to help beginners better understand and enjoy this gameplay. More playable characters will be added in Depths of Elusive Realms. Additionally, you'll be able to use trial characters in this mode. Meanwhile, new high difficulty events and special boss mechanics will be added for you to challenge. This is good because I know people were commenting about how, like, oh, it's too easy, and then there's me, who's like, I don't want it to be extra hard. I'm not a mega gamer. I just want to be able to play the game. So I was worried that if they had too much of that, oh yeah, we're gonna ramp up the difficulty, I was gonna end up getting into a situation where I'd be like, okay, that's great for all the hardcore gamers out there, but now I can't play. Or it's made it so hard for me that I find it more stressful than fun to play the game. But if you add, extra, parts where it's like, okay, the, casual or not fighting savvy person can play the game, but also the hardcore gamer can play the game, and both sides have fun. That's the goal, I think. We are also working on other gameplay issues mentioned in your feedback. Here are a few examples. Drops from supply chests or enemies in the wild will be automatically picked up. That's good. I know Genshin had this problem with the, with the domains. That they didn't just give it to you originally. It was, you opened it or you used your thing and, you used your resin and then it just fell on the ground for like the artifacts and stuff, and then you were like, uh-oh. So, and if you didn't pick them up before you left, you kind of like were out of luck. And so on. So that's good. Co-op mode will be available sooner at a lower union level, which is good, so you can play with your friends. A batch salvaging option for underwater items in your backpack. We hope these changes can further improve your game experience. Alright, number C, story cutscenes and animations. We are working on the frequently reported issues about story cutscenes and animations, including strange camera positionings, characters showing up at the wrong time, poorly matched lip animations, and a lack of detail in story sound effects. I did notice that it would seem to be missing. Here are some of the progress we've made so far. Optimizing the camera positioning and character animations in some parts of the story, improve lip animation and eye blink animation. Yeah, these really are important because they really make the character feel alive. If you skimp out on that type of stuff, they just look like dolls. They're just dolls moving, and it's like, no, you gotta have eye blink. Proper eye blink and lip matching. So you got that. Number 2, adjusted and rearranged the story quests progression for a smoother flow, and change the unlock prerequisites for some story quests. I'm interested in this one because I'm kind of curious of how exactly did they rearrange it. Because now I've seen, because I was watching some of the streamers who got in, I've seen how the story played out in the second beta. So how is it going to work in the official final game? I know, like, when I was watching for Honkai Star Rail, they had said, like, Pela had a bigger role in the story. And like she led you around town and gave you a tour. But then in the actual game, she didn't do that anymore. So you like see her talking to the kids and she yells at you because she's like, well, this is for children, and type of thing. And then the next time you see her, she is standing next to Bronya. And so you're just like, who is that? What's going on? She does end up playing a bigger role later on with the museum and with links and things like that. But her introduction is a little odd at some points. So I kind of wonder how they're going to change that or change Withering Wave's story. Number 3, we'll work the sound effects and cutscenes for better performance. Improve the skip function to make it work better. I know some people are going to be thrilled with this. Personally, I don't skip story and stuff. Like, excuse me. Part of the reason why I play the game is because I want to listen to the story and get connected with the characters and things. But I can see if somebody is like wanting to play the game twice, like on different servers or something, and they're just like, okay, I've already seen this, I'm just gonna skip past it. Or if you get into a situation where it's like, oh, I went and I did a daily commission, and the daily commission is the same one I've done for the last 5 times, okay, skip. Just let's skip the dialogue part because I've read it over and over again. So you got that part. Says we will keep polishing every detail of story cutscenes and animations to optimize the quality. We hope this will help you better enjoy the story quests, which is good. Number D, other optimizations and adjustments. Aside from the changes above, we are addressing game issues such as crashes, blank screens, frame drops, and device overheating. Improving game performance on all devices is a top priority. We're also improving the character environment designs and adjusting the UI for easier navigation. New events and story content are in early development, and we will share our progress with you. So they're doing that. And localization. We take localization quality very seriously, and it's also a big part of our future optimization plans. We will continuously improve the localization quality based on your feedback. We are working on adding English, Japanese, and Korean voiceovers for stories and character voice lines. Thank you for your patience, which is good. I know that there's some places where they kind of like really mess up the localization. And like it just doesn't sound right, or they're saying the wrong thing or whatever, compared to the original. So it's good that they're taking it very seriously. So there's no nothing's gonna slip through the cracks. They're gonna mean what they mean. Right. So these are future adjustments and optimizations based on the feedback we received during closed beta 2. These are our future adjustments and optimizations based on the feedback received from closed beta 2. They did it twice. We apologize for any deficiencies or unsatisfactory content in the beta test build. This is another thing too. They're very apologetic, and they're very much like, oh, we're very sorry if you had a bad experience. We'll keep working on it. And so that kind of gives them a vote up from me, that they're caring so much. I know that they did that whole video where they were talking about, like, they were apologizing, and they were kind of saying, and I was kind of like, oh, guys, you don't need to apologize. It's okay. It's the beta. That's the whole point, But they seemed very, very nice about it. So the development team is committed to addressing these issues and prioritizing areas that were less enjoyable for players. Our goal is to bring you an even better version of Withering Waves next time. Thank you again for your continued attention and support, the Withering Waves dev team. So there you go. So yeah, so they are working on it. I don't know what's going to happen. They did say up here the future. Yeah, it's like, after careful consideration, we have finalized our plans for future adjustments and optimizations, and we'd like to share them with you. So they have finalized their plans, which I kind of wonder if that means, okay, we think we've got this under wraps. We're going to adjust these, maybe have another little mini closed beta, but then we're going to come out with a game. I know somebody, what was it? They said May 30th? It was on the Google Play Store, but unfortunately that doesn't necessarily mean anything. It could come sooner, it could come later. I think the May 30th is just because the Google Play Store kind of has a deadline for that stuff, and if you miss the deadline, you just have to like refile for it. I know with that Azure Promeliad there, game, they actually were supposed to come out in October of 2023, and they didn't, obviously. But they now are saying that they're going to be coming out in 2024, and they changed their name. It could used to be Azure something else. I don't know what it was. But you have all that, so that should be an interesting game for it to come out pretty soon. Let's see. Anything else? I think that might be it for the gaming stuff. Hopefully in future Hot Cocoa Corners we'll have more people coming to chat and everything, because then we can talk about a whole bunch of different stuff. But right now I'm just kind of touching base on things. I guess anime wise, go back to anime wise, I've been watching Delicious in Dungeon. It is really good. It is very kind of a balance between, how you could put it, it's a balance between slice of life cooking anime and action adventure anime, because the whole thing starts off, which I was kind of funny. It's kind of funny because everybody kept talking about the cooking part, and so I was sort of like, oh, it's a cute cooking anime. Isn't that nice? You know, it's cute cooking anime. And then I start watching the first episode, and they're like fighting a dragon, and then one of them gets eaten, and I'm like, oh, I did not expect that. Like, what was, like, I was just like, oh my gosh, have I been fooled? Is this gonna be a thing of violence? And you know, what did I get myself into? Type of idea. But apparently I kept watching it or whatever, and it ends up basically being that the group of Laios, Marcel, and Chilchuk want to go back into the dungeon so that they can get to the dragon, so they could save the character that was eaten, because apparently in this world your soul is still connected to your body if you die in the dungeon. So if you go back there, you can actually use a resurrection spell to resurrect people who have died, as long as you have their bodies, or at least parts of it. So so they want to head back in there. The problem is they are so broke, they don't have any money to purchase supplies. So they're kind of like, oh my gosh, how are we going to make it down there? It was hard enough before, and now we're out 2 party members, and we have no money, and so on. And so Laios, who is like the... Actually, give me a second. Here we go. This will help. Because I know if I talk about a bunch of characters and you're kind of like, who? But basically you have Laios, who's this gentleman. He's basically the kind of typical knight type of guy, but he's like really likes monsters, and he really has this thing about, oh gosh, I wonder what they would taste like. And so he says, oh, maybe we could get by eating monsters, because it's like, oh well, the monsters are technically animals and plants and things, and maybe we could do that. But of course he really has no idea other than, oh, they're edible, maybe. So that ends up being a problem. Marcel, who is the elf of the group and the only girl, is at the most of the time is like, you gotta be kidding me, I'm not going to be eating monsters, we have no idea if that's safe, it could be poisonous, and not to mention it's just plain gross, and so on. She starts off, of course, really, adverse to the idea, but she does get better. She doesn't stay annoying or anything, which is good. Then you have Chilchuck, and Chilchuck is the they call them half-foots. He's basically the trap expert and things. Oh, Marcel also does magic. That's her thing. He's a trap expert and everything. He is known as a half-foot, which is basically kind of like a halfling, but with a different name. And and he, you know, kind of goes with the two of them because he's like, yeah, you guys are going to be, you know, in trouble if I don't come. You'll hit a bunch of traps and die, and I don't want that to happen. And he also wants to save the character that got eaten. So they plan on heading out together. And of course, they start running into problems at the get-go, and that's where they meet this guy. And his name is Senshi, which is very interesting that his name is Senshi, and that they all learn about monster cooking from him. So he's basically a teacher, and his name reflects that. I think he even says at some point that his name means like knowledgeable or whatever. But he's a really nice character. He's been apparently living in the dungeon. He knows all about how to cook monsters and things like that, and he's the main kind of person where the whole cooking anime of the anime comes from. He's also a very good fighter. He's not right all the time also too. There's certain aspects where he wants to do things his way. He doesn't want to rely on Marcel's magic, but sometimes you kind of have to do that, you know. And he kind of comes to learn about, you know, that not everything that you are against is a bad thing, and you just have to learn about it and stuff like that. So it's a really good anime. It is both wholesome and relaxing, but also exciting in pieces. I think if you're gonna watch this anime with the intent of like, oh, if it's really, really action packed, it's not super action packed. I mean, it does start picking up, I think, around episode 5 or 6, and by 11, it's like 11 has like almost pretty much no cooking in it at all. It is pure action, and there's a lot of, you know, holy cow stuff in it, and so on. But it's a very good series. I'm hoping they just put out episode 12, I believe, so you can watch it. I don't know if it's gonna end there or if it's gonna be like, okay, because I think most anime, they have their first season is 12 episodes, and then they leave it there, and then if they get another season, it's like great, they get to continue the story. Some of them though do get, I think, a longer season. You'll get like episode 14 or 13, 14, 15, etc. So you have that, which is really nice. But I've been watching this one. It's really good. There's a couple other ones I want to try out too. Let's see. I have a whole list. I was watching my anime on one website, and then it basically broke itself. And now you can't watch anything on it at all. But other things to kind of want to take a look at is, let's see, Rhea Beyond Journey's End. I've heard that one's really good. The Apocryphy Diaries is pretty good, apparently. I want to check that one out. I really want to finish watching the Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation, because I started watching the 3rd season and then I kind of stopped and I didn't get to watch the rest of it. Don't think I kind of want to watch Weathering with You movie, and it's a movie. I haven't watched that one, but I've heard it's good. Let's see, Heaven's Official's Blessing has a 2nd season, so that one I want to watch. Let's see. The Masterful Cat is depressed again today, which actually doesn't really have anything to do with depression. It's just about a giant cat who's trying to take care of a lady. I was watching that one, and then I kind of paused for a second, and when I came back to the website I was watching it on broke into pieces. So I have to find that again. there's a couple of ones that are really good. They have Shaman King Flowers, which I did not realize they actually made that an anime. Because, in fact, I only knew that they had like one chapter. Shaman King Flowers is basically the story of Hannah, who is Yo and Anna's son, and takes place, you know, something like 10, 15 years into the future, where Yo and Anna are both adults. So I'll have to watch that one too. That one looks pretty interesting, and so on. But yeah, let's see. What else is going on? There's a whole bunch of stuff happening with the VTubers. I don't keep up on it too much. I have been watching a couple of them though. Cassian is good. Doki Bird, of course, is good. I've kind of leaned away from Niji Sanji. I was watching some of their people, but then they had that whole thing with Doki Bird and what they said during that gray live stream that looked like a hostage situation, and I was just like, okay, I think I'll take a break from you guys, and so I kind of are not watching them anymore, just because it just seemed like a giant mess ready to boil over. Let me check here. If you guys have any anime recommendations or whatever, feel free to put it in the comments for this page. I'll check it out. As long as it's not too violent. I'm not a big fan of ones that are too violent or ones that have like really sad endings. Like, I remember being a kid and I borrowed a tape of Wolf's Rain, and I didn't realize that it was the last 4 episodes of Wolf's Rain. So not only did I get quickly introduced to the characters, but I also quickly watched them die, and I was a little kid. Because back then, cartoons equaled little kid, and I cried. I felt so bad. I mean, they have apparently a bittersweet ending where everybody does get saved, but they don't remember anything, so it's kind of like, okay, I guess we'll be fine. But yeah, I was really upset. Everybody dies in that one. But spoilers, I should say. But Wolf's Rain's pretty old, so I think people know by now. But let's see. I'm following a lot of VTubers now. I didn't used to, because in the early days when I was young and I first was getting into anime, VTubers were a thing, but the stuff that they were using for them wasn't very good. Like, tracking wasn't very good, and the models weren't very, how do you put it? They couldn't move very well, so you try to watch them, and all you'd see is them being like this. All the time. And I was just like, okay, this is kind of grossing me out a little bit. And it felt weird. So I kind of was like, okay, I'm not going to do that. You know, but then, 10, 20 years later, things have gotten so good that it's like, okay, I think this is good. I mean, there's quite a few good ones. Let me see. Well, I haven't watched... that short that they did for Honkai Star Rail. So if you guys want, we can watch that real quick. Let me pause my music. I haven't actually watched this yet, but I had seen some stuff about it. So we can watch this. This is the animated short rondo across countless kalpas? Kalpas? So here we go.
The remembrance is no different than the sea. Never gaze upon its surface on a starless night.
Really, give me 1 second. A little bit better.
Waiting for someone? Then, how about a dance?
Yeah, people saw the preview for this and they're like, "Oh my gosh!"
I on her for quite a while, and tonight I initiate our first engagement. A galaxy ranger, as mysterious as the rumors suggest. A blend of nobility and reticence. Yet, in this nocturnal hunt, the ranger is not the only one who hunts. At this distance, you're more enchanting than you seem.
These movies are really good.
Without a doubt, she seeks the Watchmaker's legacy. In this game, everyone lies. But memories
Oh my gosh.
do not. Just keeps on getting better, doesn't it? Everyone has a past, and the past shapes the present. Some people hold on to memories, while others are haunted by them, unable to escape. That is why I took action. I want to know what she is. Many were drawn to this feast. The IPC, the Garden of Recollection, fools, the Nameless, and the Annihilation Gang. They should have been present, but Duke Inferno is dead. He and his children won't be attending. What have you done, beautiful ranger?
Uh-oh.
Excuse me. Are you asking me?
Uh-oh. Shouldn't have messed with that. Yikes.
Who are the Annihilation Gang?
She doesn't know. Doesn't remember. Yikes.
My gaze has lingered on her for quite a while, and tonight is our final engagement. A Galaxy Ranger? No. I've made a grave mistake.
That's for sure.
Everyone has a past, but for some, their past is a silent abyss.
Oh, yikes.
Filled with those who drowned in it.
Ugh.
Annihilation Gang. Annihilation Gang. Oh. Those guys.
Oh, now she remembers. Like, oh yeah, those guys that I kicked the bucket when would pass by. That was intense. I like the art. Poor Black Swan though. That Yeesh. Alright, let's take a look at this one too.
Do you still remember why Izumo forged these blades?
Because in times past, when the Yao Yorozu no Kami descended here, they wrought death and disaster on this world and its people.
Oh, me.
To save the world, Izumo splintered 70,033 blades and forged them into the 12 Sentinels. The first was truth, forged by the Sovereign of Revelation. It could teach mortals the way of the law and create miracles from the deconstruction of all things. The second was sky, forged by the eternal zenith. It could form a barrier from the firmament and prevent the innumerable gods of misery from passing through. The third was howl, able to summon lightning to rend the heavens and meteors to rain down divine punishment. The fourth was mist, able to break earth and tear cloud with biting wind and rain. The fifth was frost, freezing the land in an instant. The sixth was fate, the restless cycle of life and death. Then there was flare, thought, root, form, bind, maw. With those sentinels, we seized on tomorrow's expectation, winning victory after victory, until...
All of them were broken. The price of every victory was a world in its entirety. And in the end, that entirety was lost. And so Izumo splintered 12 sentinels and forged them into 2 bearers. The first was origin. The second was end. The world forged 70,047 blades, and only one could save Izumo. But you and I both know the road to salvation does not exist. There is no trace of tomorrow. Resisting the Kamigami, humanity will eventually become Oni. We pawned everything, all for the destruction of 2 worlds. In times past, Takamagahara, upon which the Kami descended, was surely as beautiful as Izumo. So, do you still remember why Izumo forged these blades?
Because of a lie. An end that never existed. We long since strode into their shadow. Each step forward one that we can never walk back. Until the last blade is forged into... not. I knew this world was fleeting. And yet...
Aww. Want to give her a big hug. It's very interesting how they kind of... Go back a second.
Save Izumu.
It's kind of interesting because it's sort of a mix between Mei and from Honkai Impact 3rd and Raiden A from Genshin. You know, they even have the similar names of where their homes are. So instead of it being Inazuma, it's Izumu. So it's like, not to mention especially the whole very Japanese feel to it and everything. That's neat. That's neat. I might try to drop a 10 pull on Archeron's banner. I mean, she definitely seems like she needs a hug. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's kind of interesting. She's getting so much coverage, and Adventurine hasn't really gotten any. But then again, Adventurine is also in the second phase. So, if he is gonna get something, it'll probably be afterwards. They're really wanting to kind of push that. Hey, this is Mei / A, so you might want to get her. That type of whole thing. But there you go. Alrighty, let's see. Is there anything else? Let's see. There is the one. Whatchamacallit? There is the one thing from Azuro Premilia, which we watched this one the before, and then here is the gameplay demonstration. You can kind of click on this one and watch it for a little bit. It's like 12 minutes long, so skip the ad. But I mean, yeah. Unfortunately, they don't have the closed captions on this one. But with the amount, or I should say that considering this game was supposed to be out on October 2023 and then it wasn't, you watch this and it's like, yeah, they've done a lot of work. I know people were kind of laughing about it, and they were and I was like, or they were they're not laughing about it. They were saying like, oh, I wonder when the beta's gonna be. I wonder when the beta's gonna be. And somebody mentioned, oh, they were like, oh, I hope it's not one of those, oh, it's gonna take 3-4 years, you know, before they actually come out, because it just ends up kind of like bringing up hype only for it to regrettably die, and people just get really frustrated with it. But considering of how much this game looks done, I kind of joked and I said, wouldn't it be funny if it just suddenly, there was no beta, it just suddenly was like next month or the month after, it was like, ping, here you go, here's the game, and everybody rushed to play it, you know, it'd be kind of funny. I'll turn this down a little bit, but so I can kind of talk over it, because it is long, but I know people have likened this game to, let's see, Genshin, obviously, Pal World. Somebody even said in a comment, they went and they said, oh, Pal World had a good 1 month before this is gonna take it over. It's also having a similar mechanic to Withering Waves, but instead of the little characters being artifacts with it, they're basically friends. You know, I think you can equip 3 to each character, from what I know. And while no, was it 3 to each character? It was like you have a party of 3 people, and then each person can have a what do they call these? I remember reading it. I don't remember what they're called. Also, I'm pretty sure that blue-haired girl is the main character because I saw a picture, or I should say the player character, because I saw a picture of her and a boy version. So I think the girl with the blue-gray hair is the player character. But the idea, which you'll see, is that basically each character you have in your team has a connection with a, let's call them the animals, with one of the animals that you hook to them. But they all look really good. I like their designs. They're unique enough that they're kind of like, oh, I haven't seen this before. I love this lady. She is so beautiful. I love her. I love her back wings. She's really nice too. I think if I get to play this game eventually, I'm gonna be basically collecting all the fox characters and all the winged characters, because those are like my 2 favorites. But the only thing I was thinking about it was that I noticed that there was a lot of girls and no, yeah, see, you can basically switch whatever animal you want that I guess that you have with these characters, and then they help them out and stuff. I didn't really see any male playable characters. Although there were male characters in the game, there was a couple NPC male characters. So the fact that I believe there can be also a male player character, and not necessarily just this female one, shows that there can be male characters in the game. But we'll have to see. I mean, I'm not opposed to female characters or anything. I like quite a few of them. It's just nice to have both genders represented and everything. But, I mean, the world looks beautiful. Things are situated in a way that look natural. I was watching, I think it was Chaotix talk about this, and he said that the world is like vibrant and anime, but not cartoony. Which is nice. Also, I like the designs of the animals that you get to use. They all look kind of like somewhere in the level between the cute and the cool. A lot of them. I haven't heard if there's a co-op version for this. But even if there's not, it still looks like a really fun game to play. I'm assuming it's going to be gacha, and I did check, and it is going to be on PC. So it's not just a mobile game, which is important to me because I have a potato phone. I don't play. I don't really play mobile games anymore. But, you know, A lot of fighting, a lot of, you know, puzzles, a lot of, you know, animal catching, treasure chests. You get eggs. You can hatch eggs and stuff like that, which is really nice. There's farming, which you'll see kind of at the end. I was watching Chaotix and he's like, what is a Harvest Moon? I was like, it does kind of look like Harvest Moon a little bit. But you know, you can build stuff and things like that. So I like it. It looks very, like, it has action in it, but also it's very homey. There's also a storyline to it that we could see in the other trailer. Something about, like, you know, oh, we have to prevent the stars from falling or something. I'm not exactly sure yet, but basically there is a story. It's not just like with like Ark, for example, where they throw you out there and it's like, okay, go ahead, survive. There's no story to it. This one definitely seems to have one. So you also have mounts in this game too, so you can like ride a dragon, and I think there's a Pegasus and things like that, which is really nice. I mean, I don't know exactly why the game didn't come out in 2023. Maybe they just weren't done with it, and they had to be like, okay, we can't, and then they had to re-register it under a new name or something. But whichever it is, I hope it comes out, you know, this year. There's so many games that are coming out that it's kind of like a jockeying for position type of idea. That's why I was saying before about how Blue Protocol Global not coming out is kind of going to be a detriment to it, because it's like, if it doesn't come out soon enough, it's going to have to compete with all of these other games that are coming out, and you know, people can only play so many games at one time, you know. I mean, as you kind of see from my schedule, I play like 3 games. And that's pretty much all I can handle. Also, some of these areas, they're just so beautiful. If you go onto the website, they have a little bit about these areas, and also kind of showing that, oh, there's going to be other areas, because there's other, you know, animals that you can catch, but like, oh, we don't know much about them except what they look like, so you're going to have to go there to find them. They also have the bosses. I don't know if you'll be able to catch the bosses, or if they're just there for fighting and drops and things, but they do look very cool. They're definitely not skimping on things like ultimates and things like that, which is really nice. And the characters definitely look alive. You know, like I mentioned before, they don't look like, oh, dolls or, you know, blank-faced, oh, you know, there's no life behind their eyes type of idea. Which is nice, because that means you can kind of get attached to them. I know when I tried to play Tower Fantasy, it's like they didn't. I think with Tower Fantasy they put too much money and effort into all the little mini games and not enough into the story and the characters. So like considering it was a gacha game, I didn't really feel a need to get any of the characters because I didn't care about them. Oh, here's the farming part. It's got a cute little cabbage bird is helping you. Cabbage bird and the boar are helping you farm. Well, I think that's really, really cute. So you put the seeds down and the little cabbage is like, oh, let me settle down here and I'll help bury them. Place where all your animals hang out. It's like, it looks really nice. I know when I was watching it before, people were like, oh, the title here is down here is in English, which means that we'll probably get a global server, and we'll probably be getting a global server and everything, which is, yeah, which will be really great, so they have all that. All right, well, I think I'm gonna call it a little early today because this is the first time doing this, and like I said, it's like if more people show up and we have more to talk about and things like that, then I can, we'll have stuff to talk about, stories to share, things like that, and so on. But for right now, I think we're gonna end it here. Thank you guys for coming, and if you're watching this as a video on Twitch or YouTube, I wanted to let you know, thank you so much for watching. I have a Discord and a Twitter page, which you can find on my main page if you want to follow. I'm going to try to be posting things about like, oh, going live here and so on and so forth. Like I said, we're having Hot Cocoa Corner today, but we're also going to be doing Genshin tomorrow. We're going to be doing Honkai Star Rail on Wednesday, and then we'll be doing Cult of the Lamb on Thursday evening. Friday will be probably maybe a stream, but so like a, what they call that? Oh, so spontaneous stream and so on. So we'll go through that. I might switch Saturday's Genshin stream to Friday because of the fact that I will be busy on Saturday and so on because Easter and things. But we'll go with that. Alrighty. Well, thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed and we got to kind of see some cool stuff and talk about some cool things. So I will see you later. Okay, bye.